like to introduce our today's speaker. Her name is dietitian Pooja Marathe. She is a consultant nutritionist with 8 years of practicing experience. She is specialized in providing kids nutrition. She is certified ketogenic diet expert, pediatric sports nutritionist, and also a lactation consultant. So I would now request Pooja ma'am to guide our participants on our today's topic, that is immunity boosting foods for kids.
Thank you so much, and I welcome you for this webinar. The first thing which we have been really looking out for is building our kids' immunity as well as building our adult immunity. Because of this lockdown, we are, more focused on healthy food and exercising, following a different kind of a routine, and which has brought our families together. I want to ask one question to you. What is that kind of a drink which your mother used to give you when you used to fall sick? Can we have the poll, please? The kind of a drink which your mother used to give you when you used to fall sick. It was an ancient, old, tried and tested medicine which worked well for all of us.
Okay, sorry to interrupt, but we will run the poll in some time. Till then, you can please go ahead.
Yeah. So nowadays we are calling it as the golden milk. Can we have the next slide, please?
Yes.
We are calling it as the golden milk. It is basically a composition of turmeric mixed with milk. Now we are all aware that turmeric is the spice which is added in our food, and it provides the best immunity boosting properties for our food. Since our olden days, our forefathers have been telling us, our grandparents have been believing, and our mothers have been utilizing all this and making it very necessary that if you fall sick, we are provided with a small quantity of this golden milk called as हळदीचं दूध. आणि ते रात्री घेतलेलं चांगलं असतं असं आई वडिलांचं म्हणणं, आणि आपण ते फॉलो करत आलेलो आहोत. And we have the next slide, please.
Yes.
Why it is necessary? The immune system. What is basically an immune system? Immune system is basically, it is providing a protection to our body. Protection in the form of, it is helps us to fight against diseases. Which kind of diseases? It can be a common cold, it can be a common flu, it can be a regularized cough, or it can be a different kind of a disease where you have typhoid, you have malaria, you have DTP, you have polio. Whatever kind of a attack which comes on our human system, our immunity is the first as a shield. So this plays a very important role in understanding that the immune system helps us to protect our body. Why it is important, we'll see it in the next slide, please. We all have been talking about coronavirus. Next slide, please. We all have been talking about coronavirus attacking our immune system. And it has been such that this coronavirus enters through a contact. And simple symptoms like cold, flu, headache, or even nose running, little dizziness can a person can have coronavirus. Why are we so concerned? We are concerned because there is no vaccine developed till date which can protect our body from this deadly virus. We've been hearing that this is a pandemic and the people are dying. Positive cases have gone in millions. The deaths are also in numbers. But what is the cause? How is the cure going to be? This is what our reality question is. The reality question answer is that we build up on our immune system. Now, a specific age group where the immunity builds up faster is for the kids. Now, when you look at the kids age group, it is from 0 to 18 years of age. But particularly we looked at children from 6 to 14 years of age who are school going children. Then how do we consider for infants? How do we consider for toddlers? And how do we consider for adolescents? Now in this strata, we understand that immunity building is always beneficial with good eating healthy habits. And good eating healthy habits are developed from childhood. Believe me, if you have good amount of time at home with your own kids and want to spend quality time only for 20 minutes a day, you can impart those lessons of healthy eating, which will be an investment right now, and you will see the results after 10 years. Can we have the next slide? Hello, can we have the next slide, please? Yeah. Over here, if you see, we have a human being, okay? And we have white cells on the top. White cells are protecting our body. We also have defenders, attackers, antibody creators. In this, what we understand is that the defense system is helping us to fight against the disease. But to have a strong army to fight against the disease, we need many, many small inputs. And what we understand from this is that we need to protect our immune system by working well with our eating habits. Can we have the next slide, please? If we have an absence of the immune system, we will not be able to fight against coronavirus. One thing, if you have noticed, the major age group which is falling prey for coronavirus is plus 60, above 60 years of age. Or we have people who are having another comorbidities. Along with that, we have an age group above 40 years also. Now, if for instance, if you can see that these age groups have been falling sick very frequently because of the spread of the virus. And second thing, what you understand is the immunity power has gone low. Now, it could be that in their childhood, they were not able to take care of themselves, or they have, developed some resistance for some kind of medicines. Now, I have a question for you. We have a poll over here now. Do you really think food can act as a medicine when we are talking that it will be helping to build our immune system? My question is, do you really think food can act as a medicine when we are talking to build that food will be beneficial to build up our human system, immune system? Well, I think it plays a major part in building up a immune system. Now let us understand this equation. Can we have the next slide? The next one. So over here, we have to understand the relation between food and nutrient. Now this is a very classified example of understanding how does nutrient, I'm talking about a nutrient. A nutrient in particular can be, vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, proteins, and fat, and water also. A particular nutrient, how it is helpful to fight against diseases. Basically, if a person is malnourished or is having some infectious disease, and if that nutrient is not there in the diet, then that person's immune system will be attacked. Second is the effect of nutrition. If a person is unable to eat good quality meals, I am repeating, good quality, not quantity. If a person is unable to eat good quality meals, then definitely it is going to be the immune system of a person is going to be attacked. Second thing is the emergence of infection. Proper hygiene, proper sanitation practices, okay, vaccinations not given on time. This could also be an example. This could also lead to nutrition being poor, and infection can be carried forward. Fourth thing, what you can also understand is specially abled kids who are falling sick very frequently because they take so many medicines for their main disease that the comorbidities are left behind, and their immune system is such that every season change they fall sick. So this could be a thing. Fifth could be overeating and infection. We feel we are hungry, we like sweet foods, we are tempted to junk food. Okay, we like a particular kind of taste of food. It could be spicy, tangy, or sweet, any kind. And if we have these cravings, okay, if we have these kind of cravings, and we are trending towards eating only those kind of foods, then definitely that is going to weaken our immune system. So, to understand foods which boost our immunity, we will have a look onto the next slides. Can we have a next slide, please? I have a question for you. We have been reading so much on WhatsApp, so much on the social media, so much on the news channels. Experts are talking, and people are coming in forward to give their opinion, to give their views on, do good exercise practices, take a healthy kind of a diet, stay indoors, practice good hygiene, okay, maintain social distancing. Everything is applicable. But I have one question for you all. I would like to run the poll. Understanding which could be the immunity boosting foods. Can you all, tell me which could be the immunity boosting foods in general, not basically in, when you're not to get into deep or scientific part of it, which are the immunity boosting foods? Well, to look at some, we will go to the next slide. Can we have the next slide, please? Can we go to the next slide, please? We have vitamins and minerals, fruits and vegetables, meat and meat product. Nobody's talked about dairy. Okay, fine. So the answers are quite visible. You all are aware. But to it, we have few more additional things which help to boost the immunity. Now that is called as micronutrients. Very, very small in quantity, but the most essential in building up the immunity. Now, always remember, when we are speaking about immunity boosters, we are always talking about vitamins and minerals. Vitamins will be, fat soluble and water soluble. Fat soluble are vitamin A, D, E, K. Water soluble is vitamin B and C. What do you mean by fat soluble? What do you mean by, water soluble? Fat soluble vitamins are ones which can be dissolved with the help of fat. Water soluble is where we generally use these vitamins, these sources of vitamins, and they get easily dissolved with water. Example is citrus fruits. Okay, so citrus fruits, they say they help, it builds up the immunity. Absolutely correct. Research also provides us with huge information supporting that vitamin C helps us to boost immunity. But with that, we have another element, micro element, such as zinc and iron. Its availability is equivalently important for the absorption. If zinc and iron absorption is there, it is done in our body, and vitamin C is provided externally, then only our immunity boosting power will increase. And it is not going to be overnight. It is not going to be within 1 hour. It has to be systematically proved by our body with our constant healthy eating. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah. Over here, we see zinc, vitamin C, vitamin E, iron, vitamin A, and vitamin B6. Okay. Zinc we know is a micronutrient. Vitamin C is commonly found in citrus fruits. Iron, which is good if iron is not there in our body, we have anemia. Vitamin E, which is good for, skin related things. Vitamin A required for our eyes, and vitamin B6. Now, vitamin B6 has a combination with other micronutrients which helps us to boost our immunity. So how are we going to challenge ourselves to take these sources? The best thing is kids are very hyperactive. They do not understand what we are speaking. So in this manner, what to understand that we cannot go behind them, you have to eat this fruit, you have to eat this vegetable, you have to have this fruit drink or things like that. No, please do not run behind your kids or don't be very hyperactive in understanding that, you are providing them with adequate nutritious meal. Now, over here is a challenge as a mother and as a nutritionist. Providing healthy recipes to the kids and the children is the need of the hour. But how do we do it? A simple example, what we can ask them to do is, if you are in the kitchen, you can ask your child to come and join in the kitchen. If the child is around 8 to 9 years of age, ask them to come in the kitchen. Take out a vegetable from the refrigerator, wash it, peel it, dry it, cut it, and eat it instantly. If the child is really very hungry, one instance. Second instance, if the child is, only not only eating selected fruits and does not want to have other kind of fruits. Okay, now mango being the best in the season right now, good a source of vitamin A. Okay, citrus fruits are available, watermelon is available, you have bananas available, chikus, all these fruits are available. But your child is very selective and does not want to eat chiku, papaya, and watermelon, and is only consuming 2 to 3 kinds of mangoes a day. Now, in that form, how you can help him to acquire the other fruits is that you can ask him to come into the kitchen and help you with the chopping, or if you are going to make a fruit salad, you can ask him to just help you with sorting. You can cut the fruits, keep it in a plate, and help your child to explain. See, nature has given us so many beautiful colors. We can admire it. We can understand. Once the child is attracted visually, that helps us to bind an image on their mind. And this will be helpful for them to have a healthy eating habit. The person has not tried a food at all. Overnight, you cannot enforce him to have this kind of food in such a quantity. Second thing is milkshakes. We can definitely have, different varieties of milkshakes being given to them, freshly prepared. Please, freshly prepared milkshakes are the best for them to help them to take in the fruit quantity. Second is, we mothers struggle with vegetables. Vegetables are such that, they remove it from the plate and keep it aside, and they crib. You have given me so much. You've not made my favorite food. You've not made chicken. You've not made fish. You've not made eggs. And you're making palak, you're making methi, you're making colocasia. I mean, I don't eat all these things. Why are you giving me? The best example of incorporating vegetables is with a combination of a salad. Now, in Maharashtrian style, we have this raw vegetable cutting with a pulse. That is the best way. Ideally, we can incorporate a bowl full of eating of this vegetable before the meal is being started. So, if a palak is, for example, if a palak is being, cooked with moong dal, what you can do is you can nourish it as a good amount of salad, give it to a child before the lunch actually starts. Ask him that you have to finish this a small quantity, and then he or she can enjoy the meal. In this manner, your purpose is also solved, and the child is also not bound to have too much quantity of food at that particular point of time. Third thing, what we have to understand is hydration, water. How much quantity of water should a person generally have? Now, in kids, we always see that, two bites of food and one glass of water being gulped down. Remember, our stomach is very small, at the size of a fist. Half of it is covered with water if we drink water in between our meals. And the absorption rate and the digestion rate at which the food is going to be digested gets slower down. So second thing, what we have to, because this is because of the enzyme dilution. Second thing, what we have to understand is that water should be encouraged either half an hour before or 45 minutes later after meals. Most of the kids are practicing this in school, and most of the parents are also ensuring that they do it at home. But as a parent, we enforce them and we forget. So they point us, mom, you are drinking water when you are having your meals. What you have told, now I am not going to follow. This kind of an activity becomes a rebellious task for us. So always remember, whatever we are preaching, we are supposed to follow equivalently. Can we have the next slide, please? I'm talking about the 10 best foods which help for the immunity boosting. Now, over here you can see fruit and vegetables, yogurt, berries, garlic, ginger, turmeric, wheatgrass, pumpkin seeds, pineapple, and citrus fruits. Now, if you have, I don't say that every day you're supposed to have this. No, definitely not. A person cannot consume so much in a day. A small quantity of any one of the item, if it is incorporated in the diet on a daily basis with a conscious effort being made that all the family members be a part of whatever you plan. See, we say food acts as medicine. So our natural medicines are turmeric, garlic, ginger, wheatgrass, which have natural immune system developing properties. Yogurt. Yogurt in another sense in Marathi we call it dahi. In Hindi also we call it dahi. Okay, yogurt can be mixed with fruits, cannot be mixed with fruits. That's also a different controversy altogether. But understanding that it is a good probiotic, it definitely helps our gut system. That means our stomach, for which we can have a healthy system. Third thing is pineapple and citrus fruits. Vitamin C, as I told you all, for absorption for absorption of iron we require vitamin C. So it works as a combination. It cannot be separated out. Only vitamin C. No, we require iron also equivalently. The best example I can give you for boosting, regular boosting, is have a banana, a single banana every day, because we always see banana as a high calorie food. But as a nutritionist, I would always focus on the micronutrients, which is selenium, zinc, iron, zinc, and molybdenum. Because of these micronutrients, people don't really understand that eating a banana a day is so much beneficial for immunity boosting. We are always focusing, array, we should, eat green leafy vegetables. The second question comes is cooking of these green leafy vegetables. If you're cooking in an iron kadhai, they say that there is absorption of iron. Absorption of iron is there, definitely, but it is to a limited extent. Second thing, what we are understanding is the cutting of the vegetables. Are we washing it and cutting it, or are we cutting it and then washing it? See, now over here, what I'm trying to say is that vitamin B, which I spoke to you about, water-soluble vitamin, get washed away. So you're losing onto the vitamins. Second thing is our Maharashtrian practice or any other cooking practice is such that we keep the vegetables steaming for a longer time. Okay, that should be avoided. If we blanch the vegetables, if we just blanching is a method where in boiling water you keep the vegetables only for 2 to 3 minutes and cover it with a lid. According to food science and technology, blanching if method is acquired, then definitely the nutrient is going to be intact. Third thing is sauteing. So what is sauteing? We use very minimum amount of oil and we shallow fry it in the oil. That is also one of the techniques of making a good amount of vegetables, which become very tasty. So little traditional method is modified, and definitely the heat which you are providing. If you're going to provide, if you're providing high flame, definitely all these vitamins and minerals are going to lose on to their properties, and you're just going to eat the colored vegetable which is there in front of you. To boost your immunity naturally for kids, I ensure that you go very slow, not for cooking, but in understanding the techniques which you're applying for cooking. Because of hurry, we use microwaves. Okay, because of time being a constraint, we want to cook our complete meals in just 45 minutes, and then we reheat and reheat and reheat. What we do is we generally lose on to our immunity because of this reason. Third thing, what we understand is we are in a hurry. If we are packing up tiffins, we forget our fruit to keep it in a bag. We forget our salad box. or we forget our drink. Maybe it could be coconut water, or it could be buttermilk, or it could be ragi with buttermilk. Okay, these are also immunity boosting foods. But if we forget these things, and if you want to eat a vada pav, or if you want to eat, today it is raining, so let's have moong bhajis or samosas or sandwiches, which is tempting. Yes, definitely. If one colleague is eating, definitely that tempt is going to be there and on that mind. And what you are doing is mindful eating. You are lowering your stress levels with mindful eating. And over there, not at that point of time, but later, maybe, a month later, or two months later, what you feel that you have developed such an habit and you don't want to eat healthy food. In that manner, what happens is your immunity gets lowered very quickly. And in that cases, since we are in lockdown, we are finding it very difficult to go back to our routine that we had set. We so-called had a routine, we were so comfortable. But now we have a changed lifestyle, a modified lifestyle. Plus, we are also understanding that children are relaxed because they are not going to school. So we are not pressurizing them to, to eat, do the work quickly on time and help them. So in a way, we are missing on things. So how to boost our immunity? Third thing would be by exercising. Following an exercise regime only for half an hour or 5 minutes with children with 5 Surya Namaskars is also going to be very beneficial to start with. Later on, you can, increase the time and the awareness with the children. Now, a 3-year-old kid or a 2-year-old kid dances merrily on any nursery rhymes. Encourage them to do that. With that, you can encourage them to jump around, to go up and down the steps. It's absolutely fine. This is the way you're asking them to do some physical exercise. Play cricket with them, play badminton or play football inside house, not a problem. If you're having constraints of walking around, what you can do is you can take 100 meters, or you can just count onto your steps within your bedrooms. This is what you can do with your kids. Dance for any favorite song for 10 to 15 minutes on a high volume. That's absolutely fine. You are engaging yourself in some kind of physical activity, which is an additional part with eating. So it's not only mindful eating, it is also exercise, which plays a very, very important role. And we come to the last part of the presentation today, what we actually have a takeaway for. Can we have the next slide, please? So boosting your child's immunity requires 5 things. First is drinking water, hydration, as I spoke to you earlier. Second is getting enough sleep. Third is keeping ourselves, hygienically clean. Fourth is eating good probiotics and focusing on good nutrition. If these 5 things are built, we call it a fist, and it helps us to fight immunity. With this, I would like to say one more thing. Good nutrition not only comes with eating good food, it also comes with involving good habits, like, any activities. Second thing is hydration. Ask the child to drink water. If not plain water, you can go for, any kind of buttermilk, or as I mentioned earlier, coconut water, or, you can give ragi java. That is also applicable. Third thing is ask your child to sleep on time and to get up on time. Because of the holiday routine being different, the child might be in a dilemma that, if I get up late, my mom is not going to say me anything. No, 8 hours sleep is enough. If you can avoid afternoon sleep, that would be great. Engage the afternoon sleep in some afternoon reading or playing any kind of a game like Scrabble or Monopoly with your family. You can spend some good quality time. And last but not the least is the hygiene. Self hygiene and social distancing is equivalently important. To understand that these two things help you to build up a protection against your human body. So with this, I conclude by saying that immunity boosting is not only with good eating habits, but a good exercise, good sleep, and good hydration will help to boost the child's immunity. The session is now open for question and answers. If you have any questions, you can type it into your screen and I will answer it one by one. Over to you,
Thank-
Tejashree.
Yeah, thank you, Dietitian Pooja. It was indeed great listening to you. You had covered all the topics which all we mother have constantly 24 by 7 on our back end, working constantly. So to sum up, thank you so much for making us understand the importance of hygiene, handling the food, the pre-preparation steps, and the tricks was really very interesting, wherein we can include the veggies in their plate. So as announced, now the question and answer round is open. So mothers, you can start typing in the questions. Already the questions are there lined up. So we can start now with the question and answers.
Yeah.
So here it is, our questions.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that when giving, we can give milkshake to the kids, but
Yes.
there's one question like, won't the fiber be lost in fruits if given in the form of milkshakes?
No, the fiber wouldn't be lost in the form of food because we are using fresh fruits. Okay, I definitely encourage for eating fresh fruits. But if a person is really not eating a food and you are breaking your head for that person to eat, you're going behind him, it's been a month, it's been years, maybe 5 years, 6 years, you would say that, that child was eating at the age of 2 and now he's completely lost the liking of it. So at this point of time, as a nutritionist, what I feel that to help him or her to have a nice, healthy mind. A milk, a fruit, a milk in a little quantity, and some dry fruits if you can add. It will be beneficial so that your milkshake would taste very nice, and definitely it will be more healthy and challenging. So the kid will eat it, and the next time he will ask you that please give me something of this sort. Second question over here says, is chia seeds pudding good for kids? Definitely good for kids. That's absolutely not a problem.
Okay.
Yes, Tejashree.
Yes. So the next question, can we have fruit yogurt which we get in the market?
Now, over here, if you see, if you are traveling and if you are carrying that as an option, I would definitely recommend it. But if you're getting it from the market and trying to eat it at home, definitely I will not recommend it on a personal note. If you're looking at it as a healthy option, like Epigamia is there, or you have Nestle. I'm not promoting any brands, but if you're looking for a healthy food apart from a vada pav and definitely moong bhajis, definitely this kind of a fruit yogurt is helpful. You've forgotten your apple, you've forgotten your carrot, you've forgotten your cucumber salad box in, and you know that the near kirana store gives you an Epigamia yogurt near your office. You're really hungry, you're craving for it, you can definitely go for it. That's a intermittent break and which is required.
Okay. The next question is, if baby is 2.5 years old and have cough, what diet you will recommend for him?
See, as I told you, this is a generalized session of immunity boosting. So, in a you have to understand how that cough is developed. Is it because of some food allergy? It is because of some another allergy. It is because of some infection from outside which has been caught. So that is the source which is very important for you to understand how the infection has come into inside the body. You have to work on the child's immune system from the very beginning. You cannot be like see, from 0 to 2 is 0 years to 2 years is the best and the most critical way in understanding a child's immunity. They fall sick quite often. We always go to the doctor. अरे त्याला सर्दी झाली आहे, खोकला झालेला आहे, ताप येतोय, सारखं सारखं त्याला काहीतरी काहीतरी होतं. डॉक्टर एक मेडिसिन देतो, ते काम नाही केलं की दुसरं मेडिसिन देतो, ते काम नाही केलं की तिसरं. त्याच्यामुळे काय होतं, जेव्हा आपण मेडिसिन चेंज करत राहतो तेव्हा ते इम्युनिटी त्यांची कमी होऊन जाते आणि आपण विसरून जातो की त्यांना आपण जास्त चांगलं खाणं, आपण सात्विक वरण भात तूप मीठ त्याच्यावर लिंबू पिळून हे आपलं जे सात्विक अन्न आहे हे आपण द्यायलाच विसरून जातो. सो काय माझं माझं असं म्हणणं आहे की 2.5 वर्षाच्या मुलाला खोकला कुठल्या प्रकारे झालेला आहे हा जास्त महत्वाचा आहे. आणि त्यांनी काय खाल्लेलं आहे ही त्याची हिस्ट्री घेणं फार जास्त इम्पॉर्टंट, की मागचे कुठले आठवड्यामध्ये कुठला असा पदार्थ होता की ज्याच्यामुळे त्याला खोकला होण्याची शक्यता जास्त होती, हे जास्त महत्वाचं. आणि खोकला कमी करण्यासाठी वी आर ऑलवेज गिविंग देम टर्मरिक, देम गिविंग देम garlic, we are mixing honey with turmeric, so helping them to gargle every day. So these habits, if we develop from the very beginning, it is very beneficial. Along with that, we have those spices, pepper and cloves. We make their powder and give them raw. So that's also very beneficial. That's what I feel.
So the cough and cold is bothering all the mothers.
Will bother all the mothers. So the best exam, the best epic answer for this, I would say, is the golden milk. I know none of the kids drink it, so I have a secret formula for it. 2 spoons of milk with a pinch of haldi and kesar. Just onto top of the spoon, give it as a medicine. Do not force for 100 ml, milk, hot boiling milk. No, absolutely no. Just 2 spoons of milk, that is also enough, and a pinch of haldi and kesar. That will help to boost up your immunity before pregnancy, during pregnancy, after pregnancy, and during your childhood. That's absolutely wonderful. And stay away from processed foods, I would say, that because that becomes a major cause of day attacking and weakening our immune system. Junk food.
The next question by mother is like, we have you have been telling that buttermilk and curd and citrus fruits need to be given to the kids in their diet. But
Yes,
will that bother, like, will that cause cold and cough?
that has got no connection. That has absolutely no connection. If you have seen research, vitamin C helps to boost up immunity. Okay, and what time are you going to give? That is more important. If you're going to give at night, definitely he's going to land up with some cold or cough. Or if you're going to give shikran, which I'm deadly against, it's a combination of banana and milk. Okay, now this kind, many mothers or many Maharashtrians generally involve this food in their diet. But rather than that, I would suggest you give a cup of hot milk separately and a banana early in the morning so that it helps to build up the immunity. See, we are trying to understand foods which help to build up the immunity. So these the food list which are recommended are definitely helping to build up the immunity. They are not going to cause, and every child has a different immunity. So the background also matters. So any specific, doesn't work for you may work for somebody else in a way. This is how it is.
So it's the big mental block with every mother's, like giving buttermilk and curd
You
causes
can
cold
give
and
it,
cough.
you can give it in a small quantity in school. If they are carrying lunch, you can give it without any hesitation. आपण मराठीत एक म्हण आहे, अधमूर दही म्हणतो.
Mhm.
That's the best.
Okay. Can you suggest some recipes for kids for the evening time wherein they generally go for more junk food? So,
See, oats smoothies, best is that. It's always takeaway for the kids. I'm going for play, I'm going for tuition, I'm going for this class, I'm going for that class. The mother is working, the grandmother has too many things to do. Best is 3 to 4 spoons of oats, have milk, add tofu or add whichever, uh, tofu or dry fruits, and any fruit or any vegetable of your choice. You can have this as a smoothie. It's a good, healthy, nutritious, and believe me, you don't feel hungry for next 3 hours.
okay, great. Can chia seeds be given to the kid
Yes,
of 12 years?
yes, absolutely. There is no harm in giving chia seeds. You can definitely include them in faludas, and chia pudding is also one of the recommended recipes. So you can get that. Not a problem.
And the next is, what quantity of dry fruits we can give for 10 years old child?
See, 2 of each. Recommended is 2 of each. So what we generally give is almond, pistachios, cashews. raisins, okay, this much is. But anjeer is there, you have walnuts, you have hari. If you include all these dry fruits, it's going to be a fistful, and a fistful of it will be beneficial. So now that fistful, if the person wants to eat at one time, this is also another option for 5 o'clock meal. Or if you have that fistful amount divided into two parts, like half of it goes in milkshake and half of it can be eaten raw, or you can give him ladus, dry fruit ladu or dry fruit kheer. Anyhow, it's up to the mother how she wants to give the child.
And the next is, can buttermilk be given to 3 years old child?
Yeah, absolutely. What you can do is just take 2 to 3 spoons of curd and dilute it with 80% of water. Add a little spice. I don't mean red chili powder or green chili powder. Add a little bit of cumin powder and pepper powder and little salt. It gives a different taste. And once the person starts having diluted buttermilk, the taste develops for having or wanting buttermilk. And then you can decide onto the proportion of thickening it. Like if you want to give half water, 1:1 proportion of curd and water, it's up to you. But definitely to begin with, you can have 2/3 as water and 1/3 as curd. Absolutely fine.
So first the habit need to be built
Yes,
up.
the habits need to be built up.
Okay. And there is one question that there is a daughter or a girl and she does not eat yogurt and she is 3 years of age. So how we can make her eat yogurts?
Not necessarily. It's not a compulsion that she should eat yogurt. We have, if you are looking out for options of calcium, we have sesame rajgira, okay, sesame still or rajgira, or we have dry fruits, or we have, other milk products where we can be dependent on these products for the supply of calcium. If she may not have yogurt right now, okay, fine. Maybe later at 5 to 6 years down the line, that's what I said. Children eat something in lower age and they don't eat it later because of their peers, because of their children pressure. In school, they discuss more about that. आज मेरे मम्मी ने टिफिन में ये दिया, तुम्हारे मम्मी ने क्या दिया? First question, believe me, when they come to the school or in they are in the past is what tiffin you have brought. That's the question. So it's absolutely fine that your child is not eating yogurt. Do not enforce her. Let her eat whatever she feels like eating. Only thing is she should have good quality food, not quantity. Yes.
And the next is, can we give apple cider vinegar or noni juice to kids?
Why do you want to? I mean, it's not recommended for adults also. Why do you want to experiment on kids? They are kids. Let them live their childhood. Let them smash food when they are at a tender age of 10 months. When they are at a tender age of 2 to 3 years, let them just grab the vegetables from the freeze and eat it raw. Because we know that they are kids and they're going to make a fuss out of it. Putting them into these obnoxious habits is going to be very difficult because these kind of trends would help them to would target their digestive system. So I believe that these trends should not be followed for children at any cost, even after the age of 18.
Okay. And is it necessary to conduct deworming every 6 months in kids?
Yes, it's just a cleansing mechanism. Understand that it is just a cleansing mechanism. As we spoke about probiotics, what is probiotic? These are microorganisms which are beneficiary for the gut. What do you mean by the gut is the stomach. So these microorganisms are helpful for the stomach. Otherwise, we will have small worms. Most of the time, you understand that kids are constipated. They don't eat properly. They go to potty after every 2 to 3 days. God knows they are not drinking good amount of water. They might tell you something else in front of you. So because of these habits, they develop small worms. And if we don't do deworming to them, then they could have a severe infection in stomach.
Okay. And are there any foods which helps in deworming? Or
See, now when we're talking about deworming, we talk about mostly known as something called as fiber. Fiber are two types, soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber we generally get from fruits and vegetables. Okay, insoluble fiber we get from pulses, cereals, and other nutrients. We have to have a combination. That's why chapati is eaten with sabzi, dal is eaten with a vegetable, rice is eaten with a vegetable. So we are having a combination of soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. And if we are missing on soluble fiber, then there will be a problem of constipation. And that is the reason we will not be, the child will be mainly having gut related issues.
okay. So it is important to include fiber in the diet on
Definitely,
regular basis, but
definitely.
still deworming is important,
Yes,
is necessary.
deworming is necessary, and fiber in a natural course helps to relieve constipation.
Okay. And generally, is it good to avoid curd during night time?
It's an individual habit.
Or if we give it at the night time,
Mm-hmm.
curd, so will that impact the kid?
See, that's what I said. It is an individual habit. How the family has been developing the eating habit. Night time, as in some people have late dinner, some people have early dinner, some people eat by 6 o'clock, children eat by 7 o'clock, parents eat by 10:30. So now it depends on whether the child is having a family meal or an individual meal, and what is the definition of night. Ideally, the best time for a child to have is after sunset. So, start 7 o'clock is the ideal time a child should have his or her meal, and later the child could eat anything. Like it could be dry fruits or any small sumptuous thing which he can munch on. That is the thing. What time of night you are considering, that is important, and definitely what family habits you have developed for yourself and for your family, which includes the child during the dinner times. So it all depends.
Okay, so it is important to first find out at what time the kid is going to have it.
Yes, yes.
And what about lactose intolerant children? What extra care they have to take as it is difficult for them to digest milk?
See, definitely you need to see a dietitian for a lactose intolerant. A dietitian and a doctor combination works better for special care, of these children. So in case if the dietitian is recommending soy milk or she's recommending almond milk, so this is how you can work it out. And definitely a private consultation would be better rather than to discuss on a platform like this.
And our elders say that eating citrus fruit cause cough and cold, or eating yogurt in the evening is not good for health. How much is this true? Let's again sum up the topic.
Yeah, we can sum this up. Eating citrus fruits if it is cough and cold. See, if you are already having cough and cold and if you are going to eat citrus fruit, it might be a triggering factor that your cough gets increased or the mucus development process increases. Because after all, it is a virus and it doesn't take much time for the virus to build up in the body. Okay. Second thing, what we have to understand is that we are building our immune system by eating these foods so that they can protect us against infection. So definitely, if you have cough and cold and then you are eating vitamin C, definitely it's going to trigger it off. That's why we as nutritionists are always very careful in talking to our patients and focusing that please include little bit of vitamin C every day. How can we do that is by squeezing like 2 to 3 drops of lemon juice on whichever meal you are taking, whether it's morning, afternoon, or dinner time. This is how we help recommend our patients basically. And the yogurt part of it, as I told you, it's a particular question with a person. Now, if his habits are like he has a bowl full of curd every night, he cannot live without curd 365 days a year. Now, in that habit, the person has got immune to it, and then he sometimes develops resistance where the cough or the cold content can increase. So this is how it goes.
Okay. And the next question is from a 3-year-old uh, child's mother.
Okay.
She is very much needs your opinion. She is
Okay.
asking that her child was eating fruits earlier, but
Hmm.
now he is absolutely not looking at it. So,
Mhm.
should she wait till the time he again develops an interest, or what needs to be done?
She can try out a combination of custards or smoothies, or as I told you, just give them a fruit of their choice which they like. Let them have, let them understand. While play, you can just keep a bowl in front of them and ask them, you have to finish this in this much of time. So this way, as a mother, you are being vigilant that the portion of food is going on in the diet. Second thing, what we are understanding is that this person will say no, no, no for 7, 8 days, but at the end he knows that if I don't drink it, I'm not going to get the number. So in this way, we have to change their habits and help them explain in a very meticulous way, very patiently, that this is good for you. It's going to make you strong. It's going to build up your health system, and it's going to help you to fight the war against any kind of disease. It's not going to make you fall sick. This is how it goes.
And any specific care needs to be taken, or any specific food need to be included for children with dust allergy during the change of season?
Over here, I would like to suggest is that we work on our Indian spices. We can incorporate them, and because they build a strong immune system, and especially fruits and vegetables, if we give them like one one portion of fruit and one portion of vegetables every day, it will be helpful for us uh, as a mother to work onto their immune system. That's the best way we can do. And hygiene, please help them to understand basic hygiene needs like washing before, washing after, and whenever they are going out, cover themselves with like a napkin and whatever protection, maximum protection you can take care. Because if a little spark also, the trigger is too big.
Is soya milk good, and can we give it to regular kids with no lactose intolerance?
Absolutely fine. But it depends on how the way you are going to introduce it. Tomorrow, if I go in the market and get soya milk, and I ask, yeah, this is your soy milk, you're not going to get your regular white color milk, and this is the brown color milk you have to drink, child is going to be a rebel. Okay, believe me. But if you're going to introduce it in some other form, like instead of fruit juices, when you are at home and when you want to have a picnic at home, you like, this is a milkshake that I have made, so this is, you can try. So if soy milk is given, if it is of any flavor or without any flavor, it doesn't matter. So soy milk or almond milk can be introduced in this manner, and it will definitely be a boosting factor for the mother. So whenever you're traveling, this could be another option open for you all, that soy milk or almond milk will help you to keep the kids away from those Tetra Pak.
And can you once again share the technique by which we can give the haldi wala doodh to kids who are ignorant towards it?
Um, the best part is you take 2 spoons of milk, and add a pinch of kesar, add a pinch of haldi, and let it be on top. Do not go to mix it, please. Most of the mothers, what will do is they will put it in a bowl, they will mix it, and they'll ask, you have to drink this tonight. This doctor has told you if you don't drink, corona will come to you. This is all stories will start coming in. So please do not force your kids onto all these, tricks. Let them be very free. We have to be their friends first. We don't have to be philosophers. We're not teachers over there. We have to be their friend. We have to guide them. That help them to understand that how it's going to work. Because kids are more scientific, kids are more practical, and kids want quick. So for 100 ml to gulp and get into the throat, this 2 ml, do boond zindagi ke. This is what we call for a polio vaccine. So tell them, do boond of golden milk will help you to stay away from all medicines, all injections. This is the mantra.
Okay. And can we give Loki soup with pinch of spices?
Absolutely fine. No issue at all. Loki can be of both types, the white one also and the yellow one also. So absolutely fine. There is no issue. In fact, if you're giving the yellow one, you can mix carrot, half piece of carrot, and add a little bit of white butter. It makes a delicious soup to be.
Okay. And can we give this Loki soup in the case that I'm going to take up? So a mother has written to us like her child is having haldiwala milk, and whenever he takes roti and dal for dinner, after
Mhm.
2 hours he vomits all the food because he didn't like any other food. He just wants haldiwala doodh and I guess.
Now, in that, over here, the trick is the timing. You cannot enforce a child to eat at 8 o'clock at night. So if you like shift over the trick from 8 o'clock to around 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, or cut down on his evening snack and tell him that you will have haldiwala doodh only after sorry, you have meals before and haldiwala doodh later, then that will be a trick and it will be the best survival technique.
And what food we can give to a 6-year-old child who feels generally hungry after the dinner
After
during
dinner,
the night time?
handful of nuts, best option.
Because now this is the
Because
lockdown
the child,
period.
I'll tell you, the routine is different. The child is active. Brain is not sleep. The brain is not tired. They are not sleepy, and we are not giving them chocolates, so they are craving for something sweet. Generally, we can change this habit into a laddu, a dry fruit laddu, or a handful of dry fruits. Any laddu would do. Absolutely fine. We please do not go for carb counting or fat counting or any kind of protein counting for any children, because these three require main nutrients are required for are vital for their growth.
Okay, still questions are coming up. If anyone is interested to ask a live question, they can raise their hand. We will on your video so that you can interact with our expert. The next question is what kind of immunity building food we can give to prevent ear infection?
Now, ear infection. That's a tricky question. Why is the ear infection happening continuously? You have to look into it. Okay, has it been inborn habit, or has it been because of some faulty habits? That you have to always understand. And as I have safely told you that haldiwala doodh protects your child from any kind of infection. What you want to do is you can include some of the spices, like we have jeera, we have fennel seeds, that is body soap. Okay, we have cardamom, we have clove. In some or the other form, if you try to incorporate in the diet, it will be definitely beneficial. Use of garlic, ginger on a daily basis will also help the child to develop the immune system naturally.
Okay. And the next question is as you had added that if any kid is feeling hungry during night time, apart from nuts, what all else can be given? Any biscuits can be given, or any, because if he is craving for sweet, if the child is generally craving for sweet and ask for a sweet food item, so what can be given and in this situation?
In this situation, the best example could be a dry fruit milkshake. I will not recommend any kind of biscuit packets. The another best example would be popcorn. Popcorn is very healthy, and not active popcorns which we microwave. Definitely no. But once we get it at the kirana store, and it takes the same amount of time in 3 minutes. If you keep it, if you do it in the morning and the child has it in the evening, you all can have that. That's absolutely fine, but I do not recommend any kind of packet cravings for biscuits or jelly based biscuits or cream based biscuits. Definitely no. And if the child is really full but still wants to have a little bit of craving, then 2 3 more pieces of cashew is not going to be harmful, because cashew is sweet and it helps to reduce the sweetness craving. Cashew is there, or dry anjeer is there, khajur is there. These are absolutely good foods which work for this part of sweetness.
Okay. So no homemade sweets like laddus or chikkis or
You
something like
can
that.
you can give them, but try to give them during the daytime, because I am very conscious about developing a child's habit. Right now, we give them chocolates, then it turns to laddus, then it turns to kheer, then it turns to paisam. Some sweet dish comes in, and by the time when we go to college, when we go to work, we develop that habit of after bit eating that's sugary. And if our work levels go high, we are not working out, and we are in our 30s and 40s or 50s, we might develop another comorbidities.
Okay. And what is the right time to give the haldiwala milk, the magic milk?
The magic milk, half an hour before bed.
Half an hour.
So dinner time and bedtime, 2 hours gap, that has to be ensured.
And adding sugar to the haldiwala milk is
No,
fine.
no sugar. That starts. That is a place. That is the trick where the sweet craving starts. So children are literally pinching their nose and drinking it. 2 3 days, they might vomit forcefully. They might, rebel. They throw tantrums. Absolutely fine. Keep your calm. 10 days, they're like, हो गया? Can I go now? This is it.
So we have to go patiently and we have to handle the situation in a
Yes,
tricky way.
in a very practical manner. That's it.
Okay. So as you all can see, this is we are here 6 o'clock. So the questions which are remaining, we will be addressed to you through mail. So thank you so much, Dietitian Pooja Marathe. We are great to have you here today. And the question answer round has really been very interactive, and it was great listening to the answers, and your magic trick to give the Haldiwala milk was the super sixer of today's session. So, with this, I would like to share you one thing like as dietitian Pooja has also mentioned you, in case of special, I won't say conditions, but in special scenarios wherein you are more concerned about your child's health, in case of lactose intolerance or any specific concern, you can write your such concern to be addressed by our expert at our email ID, which is consult@justforhearts.org, and our experts will get in touch with you to guide you on your query. So with this,
And I would like to take this opportunity to thank, Just for Hearts, and believing that this was an important topic, and having me on board to share my knowledge as an expertise. And I had a lovely time and something new within this lockdown, but had a lovely session. Thank you, Just for Hearts, for having me on your panel.
thank you so much. Thank you from the entire team of Just for Hearts, from our participants who was eager listening to you, and you have solved all our queries very patiently. So with this, we will go to the next slide, wherein we will like to update you about tomorrow's topic. Our tomorrow's topic is on how we will be keeping involved our kids during the lockdown, because this lockdown is really becoming challenging for all our mothers, right from taking care of their immunity, planning their day, keeping them engaged, and taking care of their daily routine, their studies. So don't worry, we are again here. We will be coming tomorrow again from 5 to 6 with our psychologist, Ms. Nupur Agarwal, who will be guiding you on how to keep your kids involved during lockdown time. So stay tuned. Till then, good day. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.